But hopefully that's why you guys like me, because I am just me. Weird and everything. But yeah, I have to go meet my friend because I saw that she texted me. And I think it's like a 15-minute walk to town. So I want to make sure I get there on time. Alright, so I came to town. We have this little trading store, which is really popular because I've seen everybody with bags. A little, what's it called? Train, a park, and then some bathrooms over here, which is nice, I guess, if you're visiting. Oh, I let that car pass, and then we're gonna cross the street. That's a great view, isn't it? I don't really know what's here, but I might go into this little store. I heard Alaska's really expensive, so I guess we're gonna find out. Which I mean, it makes sense that it's expensive. Look at this. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, so we are at Glacier National Park. And we are going to the bow. That's what it's called, yeah? The bow? Yeah. You want to see? To see the view. It's long walk.
In a place as dynamic as Glacier Bay.
And it's very cold. See. But I think ahorita it funnels, so it might be feel colder.
Watch your steps, guys. Enjoy.
Thank you. See, I just don't know how often they come out.
That orca popping up
Oh my
again,
gosh.
right here on the left or port side, almost directly across from midship. Pretty close view, almost directly in that line of sun, but pretty incredible sighting there of that orca.
Alright, so this right here is Johns Hopkins Glacier. You'll see it in my other photos, but there it is. The mountains are covering the sun, so it's very dark right now. Look. The sun is actually very bright, but we just can't see it. Míralo.
You getting it?
Yeah. Day 5 of the cruise, and while I wait for my friend, she's getting out of her class, I wanted to talk to you all about what I've learned in the last couple of days that I think are important for you all who want to book a cruise. First of all, there is a resort, well, it's kind of like a resort fee. They call it a service fee. So I noticed that I was getting a $20 charge, and at first I thought it was for the restaurants that we were going to. And even though they are included, we went to specialty dining, and in those cases, you do get charged a gratuity. It says a 20% fee. So I'm like, okay, maybe it was so high that they just charged us $20 for it. And that didn't make sense, but it makes sense, right? So then I noticed that on other days, and I'm like, wait, but on this day, we didn't do anything. Like, what are they charging us a fee for? And so then I'm like, well, I try to like make sense of it, right? And I'm like, well, we went to the guest services desk, and we did that on another day where we also have this $20 fee. And so I'm like, are they charging us for asking questions? Like, maybe that's what's going on. Well, we went to them and they said, and the lady, she's like, oh, you know, what's your room number? And I'm like, well, wait, I'm like, am I going to get charged? I'm like, for asking you this question, because like $20 is a lot of money for a question. And she's like, oh, no. And so she goes to the thing and she's like, oh, she's like, it's a $20 fee for each day. It's pretty much like a resort fee. So she's like, you'll have you're doing 7 days, so you'll have seven $20 charges, so that's $140. And I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting that, but that's fine, you know. I'm like, as long as can be like, there's a reason for it, you know, then I'm okay with it. I'm sure it was in the fine print. The other part is that the service fee is, and I don't know where I read this, but it is $20 per person, and any person that is over 3 years of age. So if you're traveling with children that are, you know, 4 and 5, those will be an additional fees for you throughout your trip. So just a good thing to account for, because especially if you're trying to do it on a budget, I mean, any of those extra fees are a lot. So far I have spent, let's see, I spent $200 on the spa, $200 on the whale watching. That's $400. And then I did a $30 Deal or No Deal card, and then some tips and stuff. So far I owe an additional $271 that I wasn't expecting when I boarded this ship. And the other thing I learned, I guess, goes to this, because I got a credit on my account, which is awesome. But the reason for that credit is that we are not visiting one of the ports that we planned to. So we were supposed to visit Ketchikan, Alaska, and it is known for having some of the tallest totem poles in the world, which I think is pretty cool. I like those things, you know, those things that that you can't see anywhere else. I think that's pretty cool. And so they canceled that because of the waters, and it wasn't safe to visit that port. We are going to be in Canada for a little bit longer, but Canada's a little bit closer to me, so, you know, I'm not as excited about it. It's least likely that I'll come back to Alaska, but because of that, they give us a credit. Here's the thing, I didn't know they could do that. I think a lot of people didn't know they could do that. Well, I mean, before this trip, I didn't know, because the bus driver from our whale watching tour, he told us, he's like, I'm actually from Ketchikan, but they really needed bus drivers, so I came over here to work. And so he's like, if you all are doing any tours over there, I'll probably see some of you, unless the boat doesn't, you know, go to the port. He mentioned that the last 2 weeks, they actually did not stop in Ketchikan. So I was like, ooh, you know, and I'm like, maybe they won't. They haven't said anything. And then, yeah, towards the end of the day, they're like, okay, we're going to make adjustments to the schedule because, you know, it's not going to work. So that is very important to know, especially, I think in some cases, I mean, I'm sure there's people that are like visiting family in those areas, or maybe their families are coming, you know, they live in Alaska, but are trying to meet them in a certain place. I think this can happen, you know, elsewhere too. So that's kind of would be a bummer for, you know, people. Also, if you're really looking forward to an excursion or something like that, then you would miss out on it. So yeah, things to know. I'm sure in different areas it's less likely, but that's probably something you want to look up. Like, what is the likeliness of that happening? Has it happened before? Just so you know, you get an idea, because you only visit so many ports, so it's kind of a bummer when you miss a whole one. So yesterday we were at sea all day, and then today we've been at sea all day, and today it was like, well, since last night it's been just like very, very not rocky, but yeah, rocky. The boat, you know, you could totally feel it when you get up, like one way, the other way. So that's been fun. We were at the pool earlier, and it was like you could see just the water one way, the other way. So it was pretty interesting. So yeah, that is update for today. Most of this video is gonna be just food that I've been eating, because that's kind of what we've been doing. The first couple days, like, it's cool because you get to hear, you know, the music for the first time from different artists. But what I've noticed is that a lot of them are playing now some of the same music every night, and there's only so many artists on board, so that I think could get tiring. That's one of the reasons I probably wouldn't do such a long cruise. For me, I feel like I'd rather like travel to a place, you know, you do sometimes fly for like a whole day, but then you get 5 or 6 days of solid I don't know, adventure. And so I like that idea better. I don't know that cruises are for me. Maybe shorter cruises. So yeah, if you all have questions, let me know in the comments and I will answer them, and hopefully I can get other videos kind of just summarizing this trip, so y'all can learn from it.
In 15 minutes, be ready to sing with Siglo band right here. On the game, everybody can participate. I will need everybody for this game. Sing it if you know it. If you know the song, you have to jump here to the stage and sing it. Oh yeah, be ready.
So we have access to restaurants and things like that on this cruise, but I just went and had nachos and brought you like the nastiest nachos, like not even like, they have tiny little bit of meat, a little bit of sour cream. I mean, it had avocado, but definitely nothing special. But I was craving chips. Like, I just needed that crunch. I haven't had anything that has that crunch, so I'm like, I'm gonna get some nachos for dinner. Even though they have white salmon over at the buffet. Turn this on. But yeah, I should have brought some chips or something, because I went to the, what's it called, I went to one of the stores, like a little market thing that they have, but the chips were $10 which is a lot. But I have been craving like the spiciness, like tajin. I really need some Takis. But yeah, I'm like, well, nachos is like the closest thing to that. So, and I'm trying not to overeat, because like the first couple days I ate way too much. Like, it's pretty bad. So I'm like, I'm just gonna have some nachos, and then maybe I'll have a snack before dinner, or before bedtime, not dinner. All right, so today before bed I decided to come to the sea salt room. I don't know why it looks blue on the screen, but it's actually all white. That's pink, so kind of odd. But here is what it looks like. There's a wall, and it's supposed to help with a bunch of different things, but it's supposed to help with sleep. So I'm gonna go to sleep here right after this. So I'm like, we'll see how it works. All right, so it is day 6. It's the last day of the cruise, and we are heading to Victoria. This is the view. Oh my gosh, it is so pretty out here. So I'm just gonna show you the view and go back inside. Because everything looks better in photos. Alright, so this is Chinatown in Victoria, Canada. We're waiting for the Uber because it's raining. We don't want to walk in the rain. We were on our way, and I have to get something that was confiscated. Well, the guy told me, oh, it's down there in the building. But it's actually up here, so now I gotta go back.